All right, Robert Schmalzried, the EdcouchElsa running for EdcouchElsa School Board Trustee, Place 6. ¿Qué pasó, Rob? How you doing,
What's going on, Rob? How you doing?
Welcome to the show, Dad.
Thank you.
¿Cómo te está yendo todo? Everything good?
Everything's good. We're blessed.
Sí,
We're blessed, yeah.
Dale.
Staying busy.
Hey, the election, bro, it's getting kind of crazy, bro. Yeah. Ya mero se llega, ¿verdad? No, well, there's early voting going on right now.
Yes, sir. It started yesterday, 7 to 7, and then it ends in 2 weeks, and then Election Day November 5th.
Sí. Y how do you feel about it, man? How's it going? What do you think about the election? Who's going to win the presidency, man? Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be Kamala?
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a close race.
You think it's going to be close, man?
Yeah, I think so. Now I have my choice of who I think is going to be the winner. I don't want to share it.
Yeah, well, you don't have to share that. Yeah. But what's your gut feeling? You think it's going to be a close race then?
Yeah, it's coming down to the electoral college and the popular vote and everything like that. I know they were telling me yesterday that Mike Johnson would be the one to confirm who's going to be from the electoral college votes. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it was the VP who did that before.
Yeah.
But because she's running for office, she cannot.
I was wondering about that because I was like, if Trump wins, is she going to be the one? Like Joe Biden had to, approve the votes when he won in 2016, and then in 2020 it had to be Pence, and that's when all that January 6th bullshit happened, and all that, right?
Yes.
And I was wondering, okay, wait a second, she's vice president, so she's not going to be.
She won't be able to because she's on the ticket. So it will come back to the Speaker of the House. Mike Johnson be able to see who won.
And then they're gonna think,
they're gonna see collusion.
Do you think
they're gonna, if Trump comes out on top, they're gonna be calling, kicking, and screaming that he probably had something to do with it or something,
Where do you think there'd be more violence, bro? If Kamala wins or if Trump wins? Isn't that interesting? Like people go that crazy, but it's.
I would have to say, with what I've seen with Antifa and all that going on, if Trump wins, there'd probably be more violence. If Kamala wins, I don't see the Trump supporters going out there and throwing, Mazel Tov, or what is it, Molotov cocktails into windows or anything like that. So, that's my opinion. I think it's from what I've seen in the past.
Yeah, and then it was during those George Floyd riots, where, man, they were destroying all the cities. And they were saying that, on election eve, they're probably going to start boarding up businesses and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, out of precaution.
How does the early voting feel to you right now? You think there's a good turnout right now on both sides or on one side, or how does it feel for you?
Well, I know there's a good turnout in general. I was talking to some friends of mine from different cities, and they've, since day one, which was yesterday at 7 a.m, there was already a line. And you never really see that on day one in early voting. You'll see that on election day, but not on day one early voting.
Yeah.
There was an hour wait to vote.
Wow.
And what was disappointing is I did see a couple of people go in and vote, and they saw the line, and they just turned around and walked away.
Well, they can come back again tomorrow, so that's a good thing, right?
It is, but you hope nothing happens, or they have to, emergency happens, they have to leave the county or whatnot. And if you leave the county, well, then you can't vote, for your precinct. And so it kind of, hopefully it doesn't discourage the voters. That hopefully they come back and take advantage of their vote.
Yeah,
they're right.
Do you think the 2020 election was fair, bro, or no?
Who won the popular vote?
Pues I guess Biden did, of course, right? The 80 million or something like that. But I don't know. Sometimes because I read this article about a cabal of corporatists and all that. They got together, the way the internet giants, the tech giants, were banning people, the Hunter Biden laptop. I mean, so there was a bit of unfairness to it, because they were holding information from the voter, because the Hunter Biden laptop was exposed, before the election, and the New York Post is the newspaper that's been around for centuries, was the one that exposed it, and they ended up knocking them out of Twitter and stuff like that, So I was like, there was some sort of unfairness there for me. I don't know.
I guess, you're right. Not to bring that up, the freedom of speech, you should be able to go on any social media page, create an account, and be able to say and speak your mind. That's the freedom of speech. So when they did kick him out of Twitter, and and they started threatening these, that he could cause chaos with it or what he's saying, but the people at the end of the day have to make the choices. He's not a cult leader. He's not this. He's the president of the United States. He's there to serve us. But he wasn't really saying anything out of control to create chaos. Now, going to the January 6th, I can see where the media twists it. And, they can say, he's the one that told him to go over there. But then if you go back and watch the video, he didn't. He said a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
And then...
it's like the bloodbath comment where he meant the economy and everybody, all the news started running with, it's a bloodbath among Americans, the violence, if he loses. And it wasn't that. He was talking about the economy, but,
And that's the bad thing about the media sometimes is they take clips and twist them into the propaganda they want to get out of it,
And build the narrative that they're looking for.
Correct. Yeah, and I and they're still doing that. And 2020 was a big one. They really twisted a lot of his words, and it's disappointing, that the media does that, and it interferes with the voters' opinion when you start, realizing or listening to the media and realizing, okay, well, that's what he said, but even though it's not true, then you start falsifying things and you start interfering, and that's where I guess Elon Musk, when he acquired Twitter and turned it into X, that hey, here it's free. You say whatever you want. You're not going to get, unless it's something terroristic or something like that. Right?
Yeah,
you're going to get looked at. But it's freedom of speech.
Yeah,
it should be.
And then we had that COVID that came in, and that threw a monkey wrench in the whole electoral process as well. The last time around, what's your biggest issue for you, man? In right now, is it the economy? Is it education? Of course, you're running for school board trustee.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure that's on top for you. Is it the inflation? Is it the immigration? Is it abortion?
Well, you want to stick in the realm of the school district or everything?
Overall, overall. And then we'll get to the school in just a bit.
Overall, inflation's a huge one. I go to Walmart and I spend $150 and I come out of there with 3 bags, loaf of bread, some vegetable for my kids, and maybe, some snacks or something, but that's it. Inflation's a big issue, which would come down to the economy. The border will be another one. And one that I hear often from one side of the party, which would be President Trump, is how he talks about putting sanctions, or not sanctions, but
tariffs
on companies leaving overseas, and then creating jobs over there at a lesser pay, lesser quality, but people in America here are left with nothing. And I think I agree with him. They're going to say, well, if they come back over here, they're going to raise the prices, but why? You could put a cap on that. Americans need to have jobs.
Yeah.
And if you're taking those companies and turning them to maquiladoras in another country, well, what are you doing for us? But then you want us to consume these products? You want us to buy these products, but they're not American-made? Another one, they go and ship them everywhere else. They make the parts, but then they put it all together here and they say they're American-made. But they're not American-made. I mean, they're making the products and they're putting them together here, but it's not technically American-made.
Yeah.
But, that would probably be a big one to me, is bringing those companies back. And I know I don't want to be...
We used to have a big garter industry here in the Rio Grande Valley, Fruit of the Loom, Hager's, Carter's in Edinburgh. So that left as soon as that NAFTA was signed and stuff like that. But what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Well, not to bring that up, I know there was some big ones there in Elsa too. I think Rotel was where the canning company started, and they're at the Rotel plant that was there, but it left and shut down. I don't know where it went to, but I think it still might be in the United States. But yeah, the tariffs would be probably one. Inflation, and probably my third. Stop sending money to other countries. Spend it here. Americans need it.
Yeah,
we need it more than anybody else.
Yeah,
we got our veterans, we got our homeless people, we got single moms struggling. You got parents that are struggling. You're spending billions of dollars somewhere else, but then I see the reports that they only give $720 or $750 to the people from North Carolina with that disaster they had over there. Oh, give them the billions.
Yeah.
Let them rebuild their homes. They're left with nothing right now.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to those Americans. It's a natural disaster. I mean, it's not fair to Ukraine, but that's in another country.
I think, we have a big issue with oversight, We'll write the check out, and then whatever happens to it happens. That, hey, I already wrote the check out. No, there has to be somebody to overlook every single dime and penny that's spent whenever there's money given to somebody. I mean, I don't know who's handling the oversight of the Ukraine money. I mean, you know what I mean? They send them billions, like how easy it is to just pull out $1 million and I gotta miss it. You know what I mean?
Or they're going to get their compadre's going to be there and get a
exactly.
contract
So,
and give him some, but nothing comes out of it, you know, over there in Ukraine. And it's like, no, there has to be oversight. There has to be a breakdown of how it's going to be spent, report back to us, and show us how it's being spent.
Yeah.
You know, we're giving you the money. We want to know how you're spending it, you know?
For something like that, you need a businessman, you know, running the place, I guess, you know. Schmalzried, bro, where is that last name from, bro? I mean, it's not common to the Rio Grande Valley, or is it?
No, it originally came from Germany.
Okay.
And then my ancestors came over to Indiana. And then before World War I, my great-grandfather moved to Mercedes.
From Indiana?
From Indiana.
And was it for the agriculture or for work?
The land was cheap. They were practically giving it away.
Wow.
So him and his wife came over here.
What year was that, man? Would you happen to know? Mercedes.
And
they picked a very good town, bro.
I'll give you more details on old Herman Schmalzried, my great-grandfather. But I want to say it had to have been the early 1900s because he was a coach for Mercedes in 1937.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
And so, Rock, he was the first ever head football coach for the Mercedes Tigers.
Fíjate.
First ever.
With the Jim Thorpe helmets back in the day, dude, the leather helmets.
I have the old yearbooks. My aunt gave them to me. And my grandfather was in there. He went to school in Mercedes also. And John Schmalzried, and they played football from another one that played was Van Berkeley.
Van Berkeley, yeah.
He played for him. And one time I was working with Rolly, and we had to go deliver some supplies there, and it was Van Berkeley. And she saw my name on my shirt. She goes, Schmalzried. It's a name I haven't heard or seen in 50 years. And she goes, you related to any of the Schmalzrieds over on the east side? I go, yeah. John Schmalzried and Robert Schmalzried and John Schmalzried. He graduated with my husband. And he was a little old lady, you know, a little white, you know.
Like the Titanic lady.
yeah, exactly like that. And, so they started there in Mercedes. Wow. And then they moved to Edcouch, my grandfather did, and that's where we laid our roots there.
See? Your dad was born in Mercedes?
No. So from Mercedes, my grandfather moved to Edcouch.
Okay.
And he actually ran for the school board in 1950. And was served there for a while. So then my dad and my uncles and my aunts, they all grew up Yellow Jackets there in Mercedes. In EdcouchElsa.
You almost got it right.
Yeah, let me get it. Because we're talking about Mercedes. Right, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, it said he's from EdcouchElsa and I'm from Mercedes. And we're rivals in high school football. Always been, but you know.
Big rivals. It gets hot. Hot. And so, they all grew up Yellow Jackets. I played football and baseball for the Yellow Jackets. And, so then how I got into politics is my grandfather was a school board member. Then he became the mayor of Edcouch. So when I hearing all those stories growing up, you know, listening to my uncles and aunts talking about the history of him and you know, bragging about their father, I said, you know what, I want to do that too. I want to be like Grandpa John.
What an amazing generation they were, right, bro?
Yep, definitely.
Our grandparents.
Totally different. They talk about clean cut, always wearing their suits, and he would have like the triple pleated pants and always suited up all the time.
Yeah. And what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong.
That's right.
Common sense.
Yeah, an old school businessman. He had a feed and seed store there in Edcouch, and he provided all the lambs to all the FFAs there at the school and everything. So it's just simple life, I guess, back then, you know.
And you were born, what, around 1978, 77?
Close. 83.
83? Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're 40.
I'm 40.
40 years old. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But I see old photos of my grandfather, and you can just see it was a simpler time.
Yeah.
And they show me photos where they used to go to Reynosa and all, and back then in the 50s and 60s and go and eat and have drinks over there. And they tell me the stories. I don't know. There was a famous bar there back then. I don't know which one it was, but I'm assuming it looked like it was simpler times, you know.
Yeah. So you graduated out of EdcouchElsa?
Yep.
Yellow Jacket, class of
2002.
2002. Yeah. And what did you do right as soon as you graduated, man?
I went to UTPA.
Okay.
I started college there, and then after that, went to Corpus for a little bit, and then there was a little break because I had a wild thing that I want to become mayor. So I put a pause to college. If I'd go back, I'd probably do it different, right? But here I am still, and I still made it through. But I ran for mayor at 24.
Yeah. And how did it go?
One.
That's all. Congratulations.
Served there for 10 years.
Yeah. There's something going on in Edcouch, right? With the FBI and stuff. What happened with that? What's going on? If you can talk about it, I don't know. I know they arrested Hugo de la Cruz Jr. and another guy. And, you know, politics is a really tough thing. But, you know, when the FBI is looking into everybody, you know, you got to be careful if you're going to do anything illegal. But what's the deal with that?
I don't know. I mean, I read the news article and read the news report. I don't know. You know, they made some bad choices allegedly. They did plead not guilty, and so I mean, I guess to let the due process happen.
I've known Hugo for a long time since he was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, because he went to high school with my cousins. They're from Edcouch también. Gabe Gonzalez, Gonzo Gonzalez, Jerry Gonzalez. And they lived there behind Taquito Mike's, right? We used to go eat there like at 2 a.m, dude. And
I live 2 blocks away from there.
Güero Rendon lived around there. Wowie. I used to hang out. Jay Ozuna was a friend of mine. They used to have stores everywhere. Bazan, I think, or Ozuna's. Ozuna's, yeah, Ozuna.
I used to go there on my bike. I say, Mom, I'll be back. I'm going to go to Ozuna. So I'd go over there with a pocket full of quarters and go into the arcade in the back and play video games there all till the street light came on and I knew I had to come back home.
Yeah. Wow, man. Yeah, so, you know, But you're running for trustee, school. What does a trustee do in the school district or for the school district?
So we oversee finances, operations. We're not hands-on, you know, but the superintendent and the principals and administration come back and report to us. You know, they report the
Is it like an oversight thing? Or
It is.
Okay.
We're just there to see how the finance department's doing. Student outcomes is our number one thing. We want to know how the students are doing. And so we went ahead and there's a thing that the state offers is called Lone Star Governance. And a coach comes down. They work with a team of 8, which is the 7 board members and the superintendent. And then the administrators come in later. And you set goals on what you want from the school. And each principal presents their goal, and you team up with them, and then you come up with a reasonable percentage of how many percent in your campus you want to be reading, what percentage do you want to be successful in math in each subject, and then it also sets guidelines for us. Many times you get, let's say, a new school board member who wants to get newly elected and is real gung-ho and wants to take the bull by the horns. You know, when you first get in, you're real fired up. And they hear things aren't going on right in the campus. So they go into that campus, they go into the principal's office, and I need you to do this, this, and this, and this person need to correct all these problems. Well, you can't do that. That's Lone Star Governance. So we brought them on for training. You know, it's like any job. You can't just go on and take a job and not, you know, just not get trained to do it, you know. So we got this company to come in from the state that trained us, and they said the goal is student outcomes. Of course, we oversee finance and programs and everything, but the quote for Lone Star Governance is, student outcomes don't change until adult behaviors change, and it begins with me. And that's the bottom line. Right there it says there, student outcomes don't change until adult behaviors change, and it starts with me. And a lot of times, you know, you see it around the valley. People get on the school board, and it's a lot of bickering going on. It's a power struggle back and forth. You know, who has the majority vote, and I want this and I want that. But those are adult behaviors. But your focus sometimes isn't the student outcomes, because you want to go and hire this person, you want this person and this company. But what is that doing for the students? It has to be for the students. And so this coach oversees our agendas. There has to be so many minutes that you have to talk about student outcomes. We have our bilingual director, our math director, our reading director, our curriculum director. They come and present every monthly meeting because we want to know how are our students doing. And she says it perfectly. She puts it like what we understand football, right? You got the first quarter, second quarter, halftime. So when school starts, the game starts. You start taking your tests. Teachers are doing their job. First quarter, second quarter comes around. Come and give us a report. How are we doing? Okay, we're doing this. Going into halftime. Okay, we need a halftime report. Is what we did in the first half working? Are our students passing their MAP tests, which is like it's like a test to see where they're at. How much have they grown in that subject?
Like benchmarks and stuff like that?
It's a benchmark. Yeah, it's basically a benchmark, but they change the title. You know, TAs, they change every so often. So halftime comes, they come read the report. Numbers are down, numbers are up, depending on what subject. Okay, we need some halftime changes. What are we doing wrong that we're not impacting these kids in the classroom, that they're not growing?
Time to adjust.
Time to adjust. So then the curriculum department goes back in. They have their conferences, and then they come back and report to us. This is what we're going to change. We're going to try this to see if this can help these students grow in that subject. And so it's been working. It's been working. You know, we're one of the poorest school districts in the state of Texas, but with the little that we have, we make it happen. Mm-hmm. And that comes with experience, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, been there 8 years already. So I've learned quite a bit. And I've been pretty effective, along with the other board members, with Rowley and Chris Morales and Tony Barco and, you know, the other members that are there. But it has to be a team. Once you get into that tug of war, mm-hmm. your focus on the students is gone.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of training, a lot of school board training. We just had one last month, and we were there for the whole day. And I think it's important.
And the overall idea is what's best for the student, of course. You know?
That's the number one.
That's number one.
Yeah, you want to see these students grow, graduate, grow up, and have a successful life, and then see them later, you know, in the streets, or see them on the newspaper just for the good reason. See them, you know, on billboards. They started their law firm, or they're a doctor, or they sell insurance or real estate, whatever it is that they go into in their life. But the thing is, the school needs to have that path for them. And what bothers me a lot is when those students fall between the cracks and you lose them. You shouldn't lose any student. And they drop out. And they're called leavers now. And so they get forgotten. So we went out and started the leaver program, the truancy program. And those truancy officers are going and hounding those students down. Come back. We're not going to give up on you. Mm-hmm. You need to come back. Your life depends on it.
Yeah.
And we have the academy. It's the EdcouchElsa Academy. And that's where they can come back and get their credits, so that way they can graduate with their diploma. And it's been successful. You know, I think last year we graduated almost 50 that we were able to get back from the streets and in the neighborhoods or wherever their homes.
Yeah.
Drag them out. You need to graduate. And so and they did, and we're proud of those. And some of them come back and they get their career in technology license. They become barbers. They become welders. They
skills.
Become coppers. Skills, yeah. The vocational field is a big need down here.
Yeah, man. Skills. You can make money off anything you learn to do, mm-hmm. but you got to have that work ethic. Correct. You know, can't expect it to come to you. You got to go get it. You got to go find it. Mm-hmm. And then you got to dominate it. And then you become a successful businessman or a successful career, you know. But what do you think about? Do you think Edcouch and Elsa will ever split up school districts, man?
Never.
They're
too proud. They're too proud. Too much pride.
Because all these, like, you see PSJ, right? Yeah. I mean, look at all the schools that it's like all broken up. Well, and I always thought, I wonder if Edcouch and Elsa are ever going to become their own team, and then they'll be like a rival, the Delta rival, you know.
Imagine that. Uh-huh. So the growth in EdcouchElsa is booming right now. Mm-hmm. There's rooftops popping up everywhere. If, 20, 30 years from now, the population gets that big to where you do have to split up and create two high schools, become like a consolidated ISD, it could happen. I never say never, right? Mm-hmm. It could probably happen.
Hasta Sherryland también, they got two schools. Dana.
Mm-hmm. Dana también.
Mercedes tampoco, bro. They only have one school.
They only have one school.
Yeah.
So we have a lot more.
I hope they never do split up, because then that rivalry will be gone.
It'd be gone.
The Edcouch Mercedes rivalry.
Yeah, I think we'd have to hold on to that. Kind of be like San Benito, where they won't give up. Their buttons are about to pop into classrooms, right? But they're not going to create two, because that weakens the football team. You know what I mean?
I'll never forget that rivalry, because if it wasn't for Mercedes versus EdcouchElsa, I would have never been able to shave Hugo de la Cruz's hair off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, he had that Nifu radio show.
Yes.
And, Mercedes, Edcouch lost and Mercedes had won that week. Mm-hmm. So my compadre says, háblale a Hugo, bro. Hey, ¿qué pasó con Edcouch? ¿Y qué pasó con Mercedes, Hugo? Y la semana que entra, ¿qué onda? Dice, ¿quieres apostar? Te apuesto la cabellera. He said it on the air, live.
Oh, wow.
And back then I had hair down to the middle of my
remember
back,
that.
so I had something to lose, you know?
Oh, yeah, big investment right there.
So I went to the game, and everybody was like just looking at me, bro. And we were losing it, and a guy named Gracia, on number 20, I think he was, last few minutes of the game, he gets a sideline catch, and he runs like 60, 70 yards to the touchdown, and we win, man.
No way.
So then I got to shave Hugo de la Cruz's hair on Aquí Rogelio, the show.
Oh, on Aquí Rogelio?
Yeah,
Really?
so it was televised and everything, bro.
No way.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a recording of that.
I have it. It's on our YouTube
on
channel.
YouTube?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. All you have to do is search hashtag PVT, hashtag Hugo de la Cruz.
Okay.
And you'll see the haircut thing. And,
I want to see that.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
classic.
man.
And
But-
in my household, it's tough because my wife, she's from Mercedes. She's a Tiger. She graduated from there.
She's a good girl, bro.
It's like this one mayor I was there with. He tells me, "You were a smart man because you were looking for your queen, so you came to the Queen City.
Yeah.
To look for your queen."
A huevo.
I was like, "All right, you're like coming to America here."
Yeah, man.
So she's, her family, Jaime Bustamante.
Oh, yeah.
That's my
Ay,
father-in-law.
man, I got a story of me and Jaime, bro.
I've heard a couple.
When his mom caught us doing what we weren't supposed to do by the side of a canal during lunch hour at school, dude.
I've heard that one.
Hey, we're being cabrones.
He told me that one.
We were spaced out of our minds. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But Jaime Bustamante, man, we go back a long time. Man.
So every
Fíjate.
Mercedes game, she
Wow.
goes all out. This past Friday, because we played them.
So Chayo's your
My mother-in-law?
Yeah, she passed away, or she's
No.
She's still around, right?
Yeah.
Charro.
Charro.
Yeah,
Charro. Yeah. No,
Charro.
she's still there kicking butt there. Yeah,
good. I thought I had for some reason I had heard something like that. I'm glad it's not true.
No.
Yeah,
She's still
no, because
around.
I remember them since they were in high school, dude. I mean, they were dating, bro. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I know my wife wanted to come. I said, no, because I can already hear you and Rock going on. You're not going to give me a chance to talk because you're going to be talking away. She's just like her dad. She can just go and go and go. And it's like, hey, give me a chance. I need to talk.
yeah, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, go vote Robert Schmalzried. He's of course, vice president of the board, and he's running for EdcouchElsa School Board Trustee, place 6.
I appreciate that. There's one thing I want to talk about that's real important to
Okay.
me, and it's something that I'm basing my campaign on.
Okay.
So I have a 13-year-old, I have a 7-year-old, and I have a 4-year-old, and they're all different parts of the spectrum. My 13-year-old is like a little genius. You know, he's a smart kid. He's in
Le
seventh
sacó
grade.
toda la mamá.
Igualito. He's just like her. And top of the class, bright. And then my daughter, she's there. She's a sweet, kind little girl. She's making her way, learning in 2nd grade. You know, she's getting away. And then I have my 4-year-old who 2 years ago was diagnosed with autism. And so, you know, I've been 8 years on the board, and he didn't come on till 2020. He was born. And that's when we were running our last re-election bid. He was born, and then 2 years later, we started noticing something different about him. You know, it's just he was meeting all his milestones. He was, talking and interacting, and he would say, he called the dog's name, Pepe. He'd call the dog, and then all of a sudden, one day, we just kind of like the lights just went off, and it's just kind of like he was just kind of like spaced out. It's like, maybe he had a cold or something. But then days would go on and weeks would go on. It's like, he's not talking anymore. So my wife, she's a speech therapist, and she started clicking right away. We need to go take him to the doctor, see what's going on. And so we took him to the ENT. Maybe he couldn't hear or something, and it came out to where he got diagnosed with autism.
Wow.
And it's been a journey.
It's been life-changing for you, huh?
Very life-changing, Rock. Wow. I get sentimental when I talk to him. He's my little Bubba, and I love him.
I can just imagine.
He's such a loving kid. He gives these deep hugs, and he can't talk. He's nonverbal, but he tells you through his love. If I do something good for him, or if he goes and points at me like he wants some chips, I give him a chip. He'll come up to me real slowly, kind of like give me his lips, and I'll give him a kiss, and all right, and he'll run off happily. Yeah. And so it's been a challenge, and so since he started in pre-K 3, and then this is his second year in the school district, so he's in pre-K 4, and he's in the special needs unit because he can't communicate. You can't. He's still not potty trained.
And how old is he?
He's 4.
4 years old.
Yeah, and now for this, we've always overseen all departments in the school, but until something like this becomes so close to home, I started looking, and he started with the special education department. I started looking more into it, and there's so many more things that the school can offer the parents. I'll be the first to admit. I mean, there's times where I feel like I need counseling.
Yeah.
It gets hard. He can't talk, and is he hungry? You put out snacks for him. You put out something to drink, or
It's a little frustrating.
it's a little frustrating, and
and
you don't know what to do. As parents, we're trained. There's not a book, right, for being a parent. Right? You don't learn or read to learn how to be a parent. You go through the motions and you become a parent. And so when my 13-year-old, my 7-year-old, you go and you show them, but you can communicate with them. And with him, the only way to do it is through love. And that's it's a universal language. You the hugs, the kisses, the laughing, the tickles monster. Tickle and make them laugh, and every laugh, that there's joy in his heart, and that's all you want for your kids is to be happy. And so I just want to advocate more for the special education department, for those parents. They need the help. We need the help. I'm one just like them, and there's so much more that we can do. This Friday, we're playing at home in EdcouchElsa. Something we've never done before. I called Coach Godness up, and I said, "Hey, Coach, he has a son that's on the spectrum also. He's older now, but he's on the spectrum, and we've never done an inclusion night. We can't leave anybody behind. We're all jackets here." And he's like, "You know what? You're right. Bring those kids in. Bring in those kids in the special education classes. They go and they cheer you all up in the stands. Bring them down here in the field."
So they're never included in the games or anything like that, or
not to go on the field.
Oh, okay.
We have little jacket.
Just to give them some recognition, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Coach Godness does Taifa night, little jacket night. Little kids. He does Stinger night with the junior high football players. He has alumni night. I mean, he's got a night for everything. For everybody. Recognize everybody in the community.
Yeah.
This is his second year as a head coach.
Yeah.
I said, let's do something for that community, Coach. So he's all for it. So this Friday, we're going to have our first ever inclusion night.
It's awesome.
And bring those kids down there. They'll get in a row.
They'll feel the love of the whole city.
Yeah. Imagine
the whole community.
And cheering you on. And then they're going to make a video and show it of our special education department up on the big screen. And see those kids, excited. They're going to have flags. And we're going to do the Star Spangled Banner there with them. And
yeah,
they're feeling. And another thing Coach does is every homecoming, the seniors go and give them the garters and mums, so that they can feel, but they're a part of the homecoming tradition.
Yeah,
you can't leave anybody behind. And so now it's so close to home, and my little Bubba, I love him to death, and I want him to be included in everything.
That's great,
just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't remember a lot of that autism and stuff like that growing up in school. It seems like it's just like gotten more and more. It's affected more and more people and more families.
Sure has.
That's one of the things of our RFK Jr.
Oh, yeah.
He advocates about wanting to find out what's the cause of the big autism boom. And, he mentions like maybe the products they're putting in our food, the prenatal stuff, all kinds of, so there's everything. There needs to definitely be a study and also some sort of research where they can find a cure for it, and help children eventually evolve out of it, but.
And there has been a lot of success stories where they get their voice back, and they go through speech therapy and they're able to be more interactive. They go and work in different places. They get jobs and they're able to be a part of the community. But you have to have those therapies. You have to have those programs in place. And we do. We have a speech therapy program. We have a physical therapy program and an occupational therapy program. But there's so much more out there that resources that we can tap in to give them that chance to join the community. And I think last year we had one graduate. He went to UT, and he's a student at Texas right now.
It's awesome.
And
Yeah.
It's there. You just have to give them the opportunities to do so.
And the reinforcement and like you said, the whatever they need, like necessities they need to evolve.
It's funny you bring up RFK. I do follow him. I do read a lot of his articles, and there was one I read earlier today. I know Trump was at McDonald's, so he kind of started talking about McDonald's, and he mentioned that back when McDonald's started, they would fry their French fries in tallow, in beef tallow. And now, since beef tallow's gotten more expensive, they've gone more to the seed oil, which causes more toxins in the body. It causes more diseases. Body starts deteriorating. Your whole molecular system starts working against you with the seed oil. And I know he's huge on eating healthy, being healthier in America, and that it should be more affordable to be healthy. And I mean, you've seen him; he's jacked.
Yeah, dude,
he's massive. I don't even know how old he is, but he's huge.
They try to demonize him, but I find him very interesting, and he comes from a family that's been in politics all their lives, so he knows how all the ins and outs of everything. But I definitely do believe that we should be studying and finding out what caused the boom in autism and other disabilities.
Yes.
All these kids on meds in school, I don't remember ever being on meds when I was a kid, and so there's just a lot of things that our children are going through besides the technology and the social media and all that stuff, bro. I mean, that's something that we don't know. I don't know. I mean, you were in school. You were probably one of the last of the ones that knew how to live without a phone.
Yeah, we are the last generation.
Yeah, and so that's very interesting as well. But man, whatever you need on your journey, man, and we wish you the best of luck. And make sure to give your father-in-law and your mother-in-law a big hug for me, and tell them that I love them, and whatever you all need.
Yeah.
And the best of luck with the election, man.
I appreciate it. My mom said hi too.
Oh, that
my mom. You ran into her at I think La Lomita last time. Rosie Schmalzried.
Yeah, she's my mom's friend.
Yeah, she's your mom's friend.
Dude, that's right.
So she told me, she's like, "Tell Rock I said hi."
She loves Conjunto music, man.
She's a big fan of Conjunto music.
Dude, yeah. So she knows my aunt and my uncle from Edcouch too. Yeah.
Okay,
so Gonzalo Gonzalez and Lupita, they're always at La Lomita también, man. Yeah. So, man, ladies and gentlemen, EdcouchElsa School Board Trustee, Place 6. It's Robert Schmalzried, and make sure to vote for him and put him in there, and so we can make some differences there for everybody in the school district. Thanks a lot, Rob, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.